Hello, Swatantra viewers. Welcome to English News Bulletin. I am Mahima, bringing you the latest updates. Congress-led India bloc plans to have 5 PMS in 5 years if elected, Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday targeted the Congress-led India Alliance, saying it is mulling to have 5 prime ministers in 5 years if voted to power. Addressing a rally at Kolhapur in western Maharashtra, Modi said the opposition bloc cannot even reach a three-digit figure or at the doorstep of forming a government, but has plans to have one prime minister every year if they get a chance. In Karnataka, Congress has planned to rotate the post of the chief minister by handing it to the deputy chief minister after 2.5 years. They had this arrangement in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan as well, he said. Modi said the Congress wants to extend the Karnataka model wherein Muslims were inducted in the 27% quota for OBCs in the entire country. The Congress-led alliance has vowed to murder social justice, he said, and accused the Congress of stooping low for appeasement and vote bank politics. Congress wants to change the constitution and rob Dalits, OBCs of quota benefits for religion-based reservation, he said. Modi said the Congress had not only opposed the construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya but also declined the invitation for its consecration. Targeting Rahul Gandhi over wealth distribution, Modi said, the Congress prince wants to search your wealth and distribute it to those who the party had said to have the first right on the country's resources. The Congress wanted to impose inheritance tax and rob people of their inheritance. Such people shouldn't get even a slight chance of coming to power, he added.
फुटबॉल हब कहा जाता है। फुटबॉल यहाँ के युवाओं में बहुत पॉपुलर है और आपको अगर फुटबॉल की भाषा में मैं बताऊं तो कल दूसरे चरण का मतदान पूरा होने के बाद बीजेपी और एनडीए 2-0 से आगे चल रहे हैं। कांग्रेस और इंडिया अलायंस ने देश विरोधी और नफरत की राजनीति के 2 सेल्फ गोल कर लिए हैं और इसलिए ये पक्का हो गया है। फिर एक बार अच्छा, जरा एक और नारा बुलवाना चाहता हूं आज कोल्हापुर की धरती पर। आप बोलेंगे? अभी मैं बोल रहा था फिर एक बार, अब मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, आप बोलेंगे फिर एक बार, ठीक है? गरीबों की सरकार, गरीबों की सरकार, एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी की सरकार, विकास को समर्पित सरकार, युवा को अवसर देने वाली सरकार, महिलाओं को सुविधा देने वाली सरकार। शाबाश।
Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi on Saturday claimed that the ruling BJP's top leadership may be pretending to be in denial mode now, but the party will change the constitution if it returns to power. BJP leaders and candidates are saying that they will change the constitution. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi is denying it. This is their tactic, she said at a public rally at Dharampur village of tribal-dominated Valsad district held in support of Congress candidate for Centre-reserved Valsad Lok Sabha seat, Anant Patel. First, they will always deny what they want to do. But after coming to power, they will implement it. They want to change the constitution to weaken the common people and deprive them of their rights given in our constitution, said the Congress leader. PM Modi enters the stage during elections like Superman, she said, asking people to remember him as a Superman man. BJP leaders project the Prime Minister as powerful and say that he can stop the Russia-Ukraine war with the snap of fingers. Then why is he unable to remove poverty just like that, she asked.
मैंने देखे ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री, और मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूं कि सिर्फ मेरे परिवार के सदस्य थे। हाँ, इंदिरा जी थी, मर गई देश के लिए, शहीद हो गई देश के लिए। हाँ, राजीव जी थे, टुकड़ों में घर लाई मैं उनको, शहीद हो गए इस देश के लिए। लेकिन मनमोहन सिंह जी भी थे जो क्रांति लाए इस देश में। कांग्रेस पार्टी को ना देखे तो वाजपेयी जी भी थे जो सभ्य इंसान थे कम से कम। और मैं दावे के साथ कह सकती हूं कि यह देश का पहला प्रधानमंत्री होगा जो आपके सामने इस तरह से झूठ बोलता है, जिसके दिल में इतनी भी भावना नहीं है कि मैं जनता के सामने बोल रहा हूं, मेरे मुंह से सच निकलना चाहिए। इन्होंने कितनी गाली दी हमारे परिवार को, इससे हमें कोई परवाह नहीं है। किसी को नहीं छोड़ा, माँ को नहीं छोड़ा, पिता को नहीं छोड़ा, दादी को नहीं छोड़ा, दादा को नहीं छोड़ा, परदादा को नहीं छोड़ा, भाई को नहीं छोड़ा, पति को नहीं छोड़ा, कोई बात नहीं करते रहे। 56 इंच का इनका सीना नहीं है, इनका सीना नहीं है, लोहे के सीने हैं हमारे।
YSRCP Chief Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy on Saturday released the party manifesto for the coming elections and promised to gradually hike welfare pensions from 3,000 rupees to 3,500 rupees per month and govern the state from Visakhapatnam. The Chief Minister noted that welfare pensions, which are currently at 3,000 rupees per month, will be raised to 3,250 rupees from January 2028 and subsequently to 3,500 rupees from January 2029. Immediately after YSRCP forms the government in 2024, Visakhapatnam will be made the executive capital as the seat of the government. It will be developed as the growth engine for the state, said Jagan Mohan Reddy while addressing a press conference. Further, he vowed that Amravati will be developed as the legislative capital and Kurnool as the judicial capital. Continuing almost all the schemes introduced in the past 5 years, he has also raised the financial outlay for some schemes such as Amma Vodi, which has been hiked from 15,000 rupees per annum to 17,000 rupees. Amma Vodi is a financial aid scheme for mothers who send their children to school. The YSRCP chief insisted that a political party's manifesto assumed its real meaning only in his government, which treated it as a holy book like the Bible, Quran, and Bhagavad Gita. Assembly elections will be held simultaneously with the Lok Sabha polls in Andhra Pradesh on 13th May.
ప్రతి నియోజకవర్గం ఒక యూనిట్ కింద తీసుకుని అక్కడ ఒక స్కిల్ హబ్ నెలకొల్పుతాం. ఆ స్కిల్ హబ్ విల్ బి అన్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఐటీఐ, పాలిటెక్నిక్, ఐటీఐ అండ్ డ్రాప్ అవుట్స్ ముగ్గురును కలిపి ఒకే ప్లాట్ఫామ్ లేకి తీసుకొని వచ్చి ఒక స్కిల్ హబ్ కింద దానివల్ల వర్క్ ఎఫిషియన్సీ పెరుగుతుంది, వర్క్ షాప్స్ ఎఫిషియన్సీ పెరుగుతుంది, టీచర్ల ఎఫిషియన్సీ పెరుగుతుంది, స్టాఫ్ ఎఫిషియన్సీ పెరుగుతుంది, లార్జర్ ఫుట్ ఫాల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇవన్నీ కొన్ని అడ్వాంటేజెస్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి. స్కిల్ హబ్స్, డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్స్లో 26 స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ కాలేజీలు, ఒక స్కిల్ యూనివర్సిటీ కూడా తిరుపతిలో పెట్టే కార్యక్రమం కూడా చేస్తాం. రాజధానికి సంబంధించి 2024లో వైఎస్ఆర్ కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ ప్రభుత్వం మళ్ళీ ఏర్పడగానే విశాఖ పరిపాలనా రాజధానిగా పాలన సాగుతుంది. రాష్ట్ర అభివృద్ధికి గ్రోత్ ఇంజిన్లా పనిచేసేలా విశాఖను అభివృద్ధి చేస్తాం. అమరావతిని శాసన రాజధానిగా, కర్నూలును న్యాయ రాజధానిగా కూడా అభివృద్ధి చేస్తాం. పెన్షన్ల పెంపు ఆలోచన చేయాల్సిన కొన్ని అంశాలు ఉన్నాయి. పెన్షన్లకు సంబంధించి మన ప్రభుత్వం అధికారంలోకి రాకమునుపు చంద్రబాబు గారి హయాంలో 4 సంవత్సరాల 10 నెలలు అంటే మార్చి 1 దాకా, ఎన్నికలకు 2 నెలల ముందు వరకు పెన్షన్ ఎంత అంటే 1000 రూపాయలు. ఎన్నికలకు 6 నెలల ముందు వరకు పెన్షన్ల లబ్ధిదారులు ఎంత అంటే 39 లక్షల మంది. ఈరోజు పెన్షన్ 66 లక్షల మందికి పెన్షన్ సొమ్ము 3,000 రూపాయల పెన్షన్ సొమ్ము. సంవత్సరానికి పెన్షన్ల కోసం ఖర్చు చేసేది 24,000 కోట్ల రూపాయలు. ఇంత 3,000 రూపాయలు ఇస్తా ఉన్న రాష్ట్రం కానీ జనాభా ప్రాతిపదికన దేశంలో ఏది లేదు. పెన్షన్ల పెంపు అనే కార్యక్రమం కూడా 3,500కు పెంచుతాం. 250 రూపాయలు పెరిగేది జనవరి 2028, ఇంకొక 250 రూపాయలు పెరిగేది జనవరి 2029.
Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge on Saturday said that the names of party candidates for prestigious Amethi and Rai Bareli seats in Uttar Pradesh will be announced in a few days. Addressing a media conference Guwahati, he claimed that though the BJP says the corrupt must be put in jails, when leaders facing corruption charges join the Saffron Party, they are welcomed and sent to Rajya Sabha or Assembly. Those questioning Congress leaders for changing constituencies must also explain how many times had Vajpayee and Advani changed their seats, Khadge said. He said so when asked about the BJP criticizing Rahul Gandhi for fighting the elections from Kerala's Wayanad instead of Amethi. In an apparent reference to Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, Khadge claimed that Congress is not affected by people who grew up in the party and left it later. Congress is like a flowing river, it is not affected by a few persons leaving it, he asserted. Later, addressing an election rally at Kaikuchi in Barpeta district of Assam, he said unemployment was a big problem in the country and that 65% of educated youths have no jobs. Khadge also alleged that the BJP was looting the country's wealth and handing it over to the rich. Prime Minister Modi is attacking the Congress as he is scared of it, he claimed.
कि हमने ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए ये इलेक्शन बॉन्ड निकाला और ये भी वो बोल रहे हैं कि देखिए ये जो इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड चले जाएगा तो पछताएंगे आप, दूसरों को भी वार्निंग कर रहे हैं। तो हम क्या बोलते हैं भाई, इलेक्शन में लेवल प्लेइंग ग्राउंड दो, आप भी खेलो हम भी खेलेंगे इलेक्शन, लेकिन हमको क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए आप कहते हो या हॉकी खेलने के लिए कहते हो, फुटबॉल खेलने के लिए कहते हो, लेकिन हर जगह गड्ढे मार के हमको खिलाते हो। तुम्हारे वक्त पूरा वो भर्ती करके लेवलिंग करके साफ करके तुम खेलते हो। तो इसलिए हम उस मुद्दे को उठाए हैं और जरूर इस पे हम लड़ेंगे, क्योंकि ये अपने चॉइस के अनुसार डरा के चंदा उठा रहे हैं, धंधा भी दे रहे हैं उनको, जो ज्यादा से चंदा दिया उनको ज्यादा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। तो ये हम तो लड़ रहे हैं। ठीक, ये देखो मोदी जी को डराने की कोशिश हम नहीं कर रहे, मोदी जी सबको डरा रहे हैं, किसी को सीबीआई, किसी को सीवीसी, किसी को ईडी। अरे डरा के तो उन्होंने ले रहे हैं, हम कहाँ डर रहे हैं, हम उनको नहीं डरा है। हम तो ये चाहते हैं भाई डेमोक्रेसी के कोई भी डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड कोई भी नेता अच्छी हुकूमत कर सकता है। आप 10 साल में कहीं सुना है कि मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कभी कहा किसी की मंगलसूत्र छीनने की, कभी उन्होंने किसी के बारे में बुरा लफ्ज कहा? एक स्टेटमेंट अगर वो देते तो सारी दुनिया उनकी स्टेटमेंट छपती है। इन्हों अगर बात करते हैं गली से लेकर दिल्ली तक, तो इनके बातों में कोई दम नहीं रहता, कोई मानता नहीं। That is his credibility.
The Aam Aadmi Party's war room for the Lok Sabha polls in Delhi was inaugurated by senior party leader Gopal Rai on Saturday. The party has fielded candidates on 4 of the 7 Lok Sabha seats in the national capital, while its India bloc partner Congress is contesting 3. The constituencies will go to polls on 25th May, the 6th round of the 7-phase elections. The war room, located at the AAP headquarters on DDU Marg, will have 12 teams for different purposes, Rai, who is the convener of the party's Delhi unit, said. While the AAP is contesting from East Delhi, South Delhi, West Delhi and New Delhi, the Congress from Northeast Delhi, Northwest Delhi and Chandni Chowk. In charges have been appointed for the 4 constituencies and they will ensure that the AAP's poll campaigns are run in an organized manner, he said. Dedicated teams for logistics, campaign management, legal works, data management and analysis, and media and social media among others will ensure smooth and organized campaigning in the 4 seats being contested by the party, Rai said. On incarcerated AAP Supremo and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal's maiden roadshow in support of East Delhi candidate Kuldeep Kumar in the evening, Rai said with the event, the party's Lok Sabha campaign, Jail Ka Jawab Vote Se, will enter its 3rd phase. There is anger against the BJP and this election is being fought by the people of Delhi, Rai said. The nominations for the polls for the seats in Delhi will begin from 29th April. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Saturday told the Supreme Court that the Enforcement Directorate has acted in a most high-handed manner in a money laundering case stemming from the alleged excise policy scam. In a rejoinder to the Enforcement Directorate's reply affidavit filed on his petition challenging his arrest in the case, Kejriwal said he had always cooperated with the investigation. Kejriwal further said that a cumulative reading of the Enforcement Directorate's stand would expose the bogie and blatant falsehood in the conduct of its proceedings. He said the record would reveal that each and every summons issued to him was duly responded to while seeking vital details and information. The information can be under no circumstances claimed to be privileged or confidential by the ED. Kejriwal claimed that the Enforcement Directorate has never spelt out the alleged non-cooperation by him. What was the requirement in not calling Kejriwal either through an authorized agent or seeking information or documents from him in writing or through a virtual mode and insisting on his presence physically in person is not forthcoming, he said. The AAP leader said his plea deserves to be allowed and he is entitled to be released forthwith. The Congress on Saturday slammed as false propaganda Prime Minister Narendra Modi and alleged that it was the BJP that was against reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh said the reality is that since 1950, reservation in education and employment has been possible when there have been Congress Prime Ministers and Congress governments at the helm. In a video statement, Ramesh said that the Prime Minister is repeatedly indulging in the false propaganda that the Congress is against the reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes and wants to snatch it away. This is absolutely false. The reality is that the provisions in the Constitution for reservation for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes were made because of B.R. Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and other Congress leaders. So, this was the contribution of the Congress, Ramesh said. He said in 1994 when P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister, for the first time, 27% reservation for other backward classes was given in employment in central government, and in 2006 when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, 27% reservation was made in higher education institutions for other backward classes. BJP Rajya Sabha member K. Lakshman on Saturday asked why the Congress did not think of conducting a caste census when it was in power for over 5 decades. Replying to a query as to why BJP is adopting double standards as it supports categorization of scheduled castes, he said that it was the Nehru-Gandhi family which was in power for a long and sought to know why the Congress did not think of conducting a caste census then. Observing that there is diversity vis-a-vis various communities in the country, he said the Reddis of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are BCs in Karnataka. Similarly, Kammas of AP and Telangana are a backward class in Karnataka, he said. The Reddis and Kammas come under other castes in. Lakshman, a BJP Rajya Sabha member from Uttar Pradesh, accused Congress and other opposition parties of resorting to divisive and appeasement politics in the run-up to the Lok Sabha polls.
ఈ ముస్లిం సంతుష్టికరణ అనేది కాంగ్రెస్ కొత్తగా చేస్తున్న వాదన కాదు, లేదా వారి కొత్తగా వచ్చిన ఆలోచన కాదు. అది కాంగ్రెస్ డిఎన్ఏలోనే ఉన్నది మొదటి నుంచి కూడా. ఇవాళ ఒక్కటిగా ఉండాల్సిన భారతదేశం 3 ముక్కలుగా ఇవాళ చీలిపోవడానికి కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ ముస్లిం సంతుష్టికర విధానం అనేది ఈనాటి తరం తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం. కేవలం ఆ రోజు ముస్లింలను సంతృష్టిపరచడానికి మత ప్రాతిపదికన దేశం కావాలని కోరిన వాళ్లకు ఆ రకంగా ఒక దేశాన్ని అప్పగించిన చరిత్ర కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ. ఇవాళ భారతదేశం ఆధీనంలో ఉండాల్సినటువంటి పాక్ ఆక్రమిత కాశ్మీరు పీఓకే మరి ఆధీనంలో వెళ్ళడానికి కూడా కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ యొక్క వైఫల్యము, వ్యూహాత్మక తప్పిదాలు అన్నిటికన్నా మించి మళ్ళీ ముస్లిం సంతుష్టీకరణ.
Responding to the manifesto released by YSRCP President YS Jagan Mohan Reddy on Saturday, TDP Chief N. Chandrababu Naidu took to X, stating, "These are among the 730 promises made by the ruling party to the people of AP. Not a single one of these promises has been fulfilled by Jagan Mohan Reddy. In fact, he has failed to deliver on 85% of these promises." Today, he came forward with yet another manifesto to deceive the people. He asked the people whether they are prepared to be deceived again.
ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్ బహుశా మీ అందరికీ కూడా 2014లో సాక్షాత్తు ఇదే ముగ్గురు కూటమిగా ఏర్పడి ముగ్గురు ఫోటోలు పెట్టి కింద చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారి సంతకం కూడా కనిపిస్తుంది. ముఖ్యమైన అంశాలు అనంటూ ఈ పాంఫ్లెట్ 2014 ఎన్నికలకు ముందు ప్రతి ఇంటికి పంపించారు. ఈ పాంఫ్లెట్ ప్రతి ఇంటికి పంపించిన ఈ పాంఫ్లెట్ను చూసి ఏ మాదిరిగా ప్రజలు నమ్మి వీళ్ళకు ఓటు వేసినందుకు వాళ్ళ బ్రతుకులు ఏ రకంగా అతలాకుతలమైనాయి అన్నది కూడా ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ నాగరిక ప్రపంచంలో గమనించాల్సిన అంశం. రైతుల రుణమాఫీపై మొదటి సంతకం చేస్తానన్నారు. మరి 87,612 కోట్ల రూపాయలు రుణమాఫీ అయిందా? పొదుపు సంఘాల రుణాలు పూర్తిగా రద్దు చేస్తామన్నారు. ఒక్క రూపాయైనా మాఫీ చేశారా? ప్రజలు మిమ్మల్ని నమ్మి మీకు ఓట్లు వేస్తే ముఖ్యమైన హామీలు అని అంటూ మీరు చెప్పిన వీటి పరిస్థితుల్లో కనీసం ఇందులో ఒక్కటంటే ఒక్క హామీ అయినా నెరవేర్చారా? పోనీ ప్రత్యేక హోదా అయినా తెచ్చారా? దాన్ని అమ్మేశారు.
The Bharat Rashtra Samiti celebrated its 23rd Foundation Day across the Telangana state on Saturday. The party was founded as Telangana Rashtra Samiti by K. Chandrasekhar Rao in 2001 to fight for the cause of Telangana statehood, was renamed as Bharat Rashtra Samiti by transforming into a national party in 2022. Bharat Rashtra Samiti Working President K.T. Rama Rao led the celebrations by hoisting the party flag at Telangana Bhavan in Hyderabad. Party leader and MLA T. Harish Rao hosted the party flag at the party office in Siddipet as part of the celebrations. He said the BRS, which came into existence on 27 April 2001 at Jala Drishyam in Hyderabad, achieved statehood for Telangana. Speaking on the occasion, K.T. Rama Rao, KTR, has accused Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy of cheating the people in a phased manner with fake promises and now moving to phase 2 of deception for the Lok Sabha elections. Rubbishing Revant's challenge of implementing crop loan waiver at one go by 15th August, he said that Chief Minister has a history of not keeping his word.
జాతీయ పార్టీగా రూపాంతరం చెంది ముందుకు పోవాలని ఒక నిర్ణయం పెద్దలు కేసీఆర్ గారు తీసుకున్నారు. దానికి అనుగుణంగా మహారాష్ట్రలో ఇంకా ఇతర రాష్ట్రాల్లో కూడా కొంత కార్యాచరణ కూడా ప్రారంభించినాం. బ్రహ్మాండమైన స్పందన కూడా వచ్చింది. కానీ దురదృష్టం 2023 డిసెంబర్ లో జరిగిన తెలంగాణ ఎన్నికల్లో మనకి అనుకున్న ఫలితాలు రాకపోవడం వల్ల అనుకున్నంత వేగంగా ముందుకు పోవడం లేదు. కానీ నాకైతే సంపూర్ణమైన విశ్వాసం ఉంది. కేసీఆర్ గారు ఏ పని తలపెట్టినా, ఏ కార్యాన్ని తీసుకున్నా చివరి దాకా తీసుకెళ్లే నాయకుడు, చివరి దాకా ఆ లక్ష్యం సఫలమయ్యేదాకా ముందుకు పోయే నాయకుడు కేసీఆర్ గారు. గత 23-24 ఏళ్లలో కులము మతము అనే రాజకీయం చేయకుండా ప్రజలను ఏకీకృతం చేసి వారి సమస్యల పట్ల పోరాడుతూ డాక్టర్ బాబాసాహెబ్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ చెప్పినట్టు బోధించు, సమీకరించు, పోరాడు అనే అంబేద్కర్ తత్వాన్ని పూర్తి స్థాయిలో జీర్ణించుకుని పూర్తి స్థాయిలో అదే బాటలో ఆచరిస్తూ నడుస్తున్న పార్టీ భారత రాష్ట్ర సమితి.
RBI invites applications from eligible SFBs to become regular banks. Reserve Bank of India on Friday invited applications from small finance banks meeting specified criteria, including a minimum net worth of 1,000 crore rupees, for becoming regular or universal banks. The RBI, in November 2014, issued the guidelines for licensing of small finance banks in the private sector. There are about a dozen small finance banks, including our Small Finance Bank, Equitas Small Finance Bank and Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. A small finance bank aiming to become a universal bank should have a minimum net worth of 1,000 crore rupees as at the end of the previous quarter, audited, and the shares of the bank should have been listed on a recognized stock exchange, the central bank said. It should also have a net profit in the last 2 financial years and GNPA and NNPA of less than or equal to 3% and 1%, respectively, in the last 2 financial years. Other conditions include a prescribed capital to risk weighted assets ratio requirement and a satisfactory track record of performance for a minimum period of 5 years. On shareholding pattern, the RBI said that there is no mandatory requirement for an eligible SFB to have an identified promoter. However, the existing promoters of the eligible SFB, if any, shall continue as the promoters on the transition to Universal Bank. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar on Friday visited Bharat Biotech's facilities at Genome Valley here, which include units for research and development and innovation as well as a large-scale manufacturing plant for vaccines. The Vice President was accompanied by Telangana Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan, a press release from the vaccine maker said. The Vice President's visit reaffirmed the vital contribution and role of Bharat Biotech in the nation's ongoing immunization programs, it said. The VP interacted with the scientists and team leaders and applauded their collective determination to develop novel vaccines and make India self-reliant. Soon after reaching the facility, the VP was briefed in detail about the manufacturing facility, the intricate processes involved in vaccine production, and the company's initiatives to develop new molecules and vaccine candidates to fight neglected diseases that affect the developing world, specifically focused on malaria, cholera, tuberculosis, and chikungunya. He also urged greater collaboration between industry, academia, and support to back more research in all sectors, the release further said. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV. This is Mahima, signing off for the day. Keep watching Swatantra TV.